Hi guys. So, how many of you use Instagram? Wow, amazing. And how many of you are from small town? Good number, good number. So, what you all hear about Instagram, that influencers are there, bloggers are there, creators are there. You have travel bloggers, you have all seen those reels where people eat. You follow those reels, you see where to eat your next biryani, you plan where to travel, you think where to get the budgets. And I know for a fact that you all sometime or the other have made fun of influencers for sure. So I am Shagun Segan and I run the page called Eat Trip Click, and I've been doing it from Hyderabad, and even I come from a small town called Nagpur. Who all knows Nagpur? Yes. So again, so when we meet, so like since I'm an influencer, I get to meet a lot of creative people. I meet photographers, videographers, musicians. And do you know what is the first question you should ask any creative person? No, always ask them, engineering kahan se kiya hai? In today's world, the maximum people that you meet, you take your favorite creators, you take your OTT stars, you take people like her who have almost tried being an engineer. So, engineering is what I think teaches us how to handle life. Sitting there in the classroom, hearing all the lectures, doing all the practicals with all the books, the mugging up, the exams, you might feel that, yeah, this is not what I wanted to do in life. This is not what I'm supposed to do. काम नहीं आएगा आगे जाके, this will all be useless. No, what you learn in engineering is absolutely precious. You can be out there running your own company, you can be out there working in an IT company, developing something, producing something, creating something. You will always come back to your engineering days. Think about the time you have spent with your friends, your family, your teachers. You failed in engineering, anything which will always keep you coming back to engineering days for sure. In my case, being from Nagpur, which is a small town, the line in life was always a straight path. If you are good in studies, you do engineering, you get that job, you do MBA, you continue the job, you get married, you have kids, and you live. That was the normal plan, which I was absolutely following. But then what happened is a U-turn. After engineering, I got placed in a core company, which was in Nagpur, a big deal because Reliance was coming for the first time to Nagpur. And I was the only student from whole of Nagpur to land a package of, it was like about 8 lakh in those days. This is 2007, okay? Where TechM and all was still giving like 2.1 and all. And I was the highest package holder of Nagpur city. Yeah, so, and it was a big deal in those small towns, right? So, abhi in Hyderabad, if somebody tells you a package of 1 CR, imagine that was the importance I got in Nagpur for that package. I was in all the newspapers, everything happened. This guy from Nagpur is making it into Reliance and everything happened. I was all flying. I let that affect my final year. When the results came out, I got 59.62%. I was all happy. August was the joining date for Reliance. I called them to check that I'm coming. What documents do I bring? And they said, oh, there has been an issue. You have 59.62 in your degree. We need 60. I was like, okay, what does this mean? They're like, you don't get to come to Reliance. And I had already rejected all the other offers that I had from other companies. And I was like, okay, now what do we do? I have lost the job. Everyone is like, will know because the whole city knew about it from the newspapers. Everybody celebrated. I had given parties to all my friends. Sabko treat kar karke कि मैं Reliance जा रहा हूँ. And this happened. I was like, okay, I'm gonna give cat. I started. The beard you see, अभी trend में नहीं है. I've been growing a beard since ages. I was like, I'm gonna become a sant. I'm gonna study for my cat. MBA, I'll break. फाड़ दूंगा पूरा cat में. 3 months I studied. I didn't step out. No calls, no meeting friends. I was like, I'm gonna study. I gave my cat. This is 2008. जब वो पेपर में करना पड़ता था, all those circling, I don't know how it is now, and 3 different sections were there. I cleared CAT. Jan 5th, I got the result. Jan 5th, 2009. I got 99.2. I was like, again, phad diya. Done. Life is set. Same thing happened. My CAT academy, they put my photo on the paper that, okay, this guy has 99.2. Sure shot IIM, B, C to K to hai hi pakka. A to nahi aayega. B, C to pakka hai. I was like, oh, set. I'm set for life now. I went for interview, and I don't know if you guys know this or if your trainers have told you this at wherever you're planning for MBA or not. They ask for 60% again. So I landed up and thinking ki call aayega, sab hoga. No. So in the bracket where they would put marks for your academics, I was getting 0 versus all the other people who had like 70, 80% in their engineering. I was like, done, dusted. But this led to an amazing thing. I was going for these interviews on my own, thinking about life in a straight line कि यार engineering नहीं हुआ, cancel, job नहीं हुआ, cancel. Now you get to do MBA. Is the big green tick next to your name. अब वो भी नहीं हो रहा है. But I was giving interviews in Bangalore, I was giving interviews in Delhi, and I was traveling alone in train. So when I did the Delhi interview, I was like, chalo result baad mein aayega. I'll just go and travel a bit to Amritsar. I went to Amritsar and I talked to a few people. And this was the time when I was about clicking pictures. I had like a small point and shoot camera and I would take pictures. I was like, chalo, I'll take some pictures. I met a bunch of people from Spain. So imagine like in Nagpur, the only thing I had heard is life is engineering karo, doctor bano, CA bano, job karo, naukri karo, all this. तब Shark Tank नहीं था, nobody thought of being an entrepreneur, for sure. So I was like, chalo, this bunch that I met, I was like, what do you guys do? They're like, oh, we are waiters. I was like, and you're traveling. I'm like, what do you do? And they're like, we work for 6 months in Ibiza, collect all the tips, the money, and 6 months we travel the world. And I'm like, ये भी लोग होते हैं दुनिया में. Like, this is not what I was taught. I was taught to be like simple, but this is what happens. And I was like, okay, I continued that trip. I fell in love with photography. I used to post this on Facebook. I don't know how many of you used Facebook early. Facebook had a restriction of 10 pictures only, which you could post online. And I would post like 10 pictures, all details in the caption, what I was doing, where I was traveling. That trip, which was supposed to be about 2 interviews, ended up being a 4.5-month trip across north of India, where I traveled solo. And if you think that traveling solo is all cool and it is amazing, it was not. This is 2009. Ranbir Kapoor had still not done Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. Queen had not come out. So, Indian parents didn't understand the concept of a solo traveler. When my relatives would see those pictures on my Facebook, they would call my mom and be like, ये पागल हो गया है, drugs कर रहा है. All the worst things you could imagine, कि इसको घर से निकाल दिया है. All my college friends thought कि ये गया काम से, he was like a topper, नौकरी गई तो पागल हो गया, all that. But I didn't have to care of all that because I was learning so many new things. Like I was meeting people, exploring Indian villages. Like you can't even imagine how they would live back then. And this was before the era of smartphones. There was no map, there was no Uber, no Ola. I couldn't even call my family every day, WhatsApp pe ki how are you and everything. Nothing happened. I was traveling on my own, living alone, managing my own expenses. No UPI, no credit card, nothing. Jitna cash hai, maximum travel and you come back home. Even this time, I never thought travel blogging or a creator could be a future for anyone ever. Because we never heard about all this. So I was like, chalo, paise khatam ho gaye. All the cash was over. Now what do? So I came back to home and I applied for a job again. And I got through Tech Mahindra. Half the package that I was gonna get. But I was like, chalo, at least a job. And now I had a passion to fund why I needed the money for. So that is what I thought of my job as, that if I have this passion, how do I make money? I couldn't sell my pictures. I didn't have a platform back then. So a job is something where I work like 5 days a week and I travel. So I was in Pune. Now people say that, yaar, there's no time. How do I travel? I want to plan a trip. Paise nahi hai. All that happens. But traveling doesn't need money. It needs a little bit of time. So I was living in Pune. Friday tak I would work, and I luckily had so many places to travel from Pune. You could take a sleeper train, local train, and you could be anywhere you wanted in an overnight train, which I was doing. So while living in Pune, I continued traveling. I got a bike. I started taking trips around Kerala, Maharashtra, Karnataka. I did all of that, and this was all still like just fueling my love for travel. No thoughts about becoming a creator, posting this anywhere. I never did that. Continued traveling, saved up money, and then I realized I was ready for that dream of traveling for 6 months. So all this while, for 3 years that I worked, my goal was only one, that I want to live that life and travel 6 months. So how do I do that? I save up money. I saved up all the money. I lived in like sharing flats, didn't eat out much, saved a lot of money. My package was, I think, 2.9 something. So I was getting 22,000 a month, which is not big money, but I still saved because I wanted to travel. I finished my job ka 3 year ka period and I went off traveling. I first started off with Southeast Asia and I went to like Thailand for 2 months, Laos for 2 months, Cambodia for 2 months. And by now, I think people had understood that blogging is something which can be done, but it was still being done in websites. Nobody paid for it. You still had to earn your money to travel. So I was like, okay, still not figuring it out. I'm gonna just spend all my money that I have. The struggles were there. I was living randomly in hostels, guest houses, traveling like in buses, and all that was happening. But I was loving the vibe that I was traveling. And whoever I would meet on those trips would have a different story. So I was like, yeah, what are these guys doing in life? Like, we don't even get to hear about this. So because this is all pre-reels, pre-internet era. Now you scroll a reel and there is like uh, 8 things to do to travel free, 8 jobs you can do to earn money. All that was not there. You learned with people, you learned through experiences. I again came back to jobs. So I would travel for, I would work for 3 months, 3 years, travel for 6 months, then again come back and work for 3 years, and then travel for 6 months. It's the only way I understood how I could travel. This continued till to 2016 when I decided I was, so by then I was done with whole of Southeast Asia, whole of India. I had traveled on my own, and I went to Europe. And I was like, oh, this is now a new destination. But the price of reaching Europe and exploring Europe was a lot. I was like, this cannot be done like on and off. I'm gonna have to go like big. And I was single. I was like, I'm never gonna get married for sure. I love this life, solo traveler forever. Life took a U-turn. I fell in love in Hyderabad. So I was working as a sales head for a tech company in Hyderabad, the highest sales guy. Everything was going well. And I had this date in mind that Jan 1st, 2018, I'm going to quit whatever I'm doing in life and I'm going to travel with all that money. I didn't factor in that I would have a +1. So I was like, how do we save money now? So I was very clear that, so before I met her or like decided to settle down, I said, first thing, you have to travel with me and understand how to travel. She was like, okay, we have been to Goa, we have done so many trips in Kerala. I was like, no, this is actual travel. So no heels, no dresses, no suitcases, no hotels, no eating Indian food outside. You carry 1 sport shoes, 2 denims, 3 t-shirts and a backpack. That's all. And we travel Spain like that. I took her to Spain. We spent like 3 weeks in Spain, explored whole of Spain. And I saw the effort that she was putting in to making this happen for us. We ended it in France, in Paris, because she wanted to go there. I was like, chalo, let's go there. On the last day of the trip, on 23rd October 2017, I finally proposed to her at the top of Eiffel Tower, which is what she wanted. And then I called my parents and I said, I'm ready to settle down. I'm anyways leaving my job. So Jan 1st, I'm leaving my job. 27 December is the day, which is 9. I love a number 9. So I was like, 27 December, I'm getting married. So they're like, okay, we have to call people, all that. I was like, no, I'm going to do a court marriage. That is the money I save to for my trips. And they all freaked out because I'm a Punjabi guy, the eldest son in both sides of the family. And I have a huge family, like 50, 60 people, both sides. They all looked down upon me. I was like, I'm not spending my money. I'm not spending my parents' money, nor the girls' money, nor the girls' parents' money on a wedding for sure. I got married in 173 rupees. I signed in the court, and that was done. 1st Jan, we booked our tickets. We got the visa done, and we set off for 6 months. That was the time we wanted to become actual travel bloggers, and we thought we are going to break the world. We'll become travel bloggers, and we started our journey. We learned how difficult it was to put your life out there. While we were traveling, everyone would message me and be like, "Yeah, amazing life, couple goals, hashtag love it," all that. They didn't know every next alternate day we were both sitting and crying because she was missing home, she was missing Indian food. I had a post which was not doing well. I had planned a shoot which didn't happen. So it's a far away country where nobody's there, and after a month or 2, 3, 4 months, you start losing it. They were like, came back to India, again broke. All money was spent on the trip. Instagram still hadn't picked up. Travel blogging was still not viable. It still didn't match the package I had back home. I came back, took up a job again in Hyderabad, started working, all well, again saving for those 3 years to travel again, and lockdown hit. And my company fired me. Like the first week of lockdown, they said, you get out. You have your Instagram, go deal with that. But Instagram wasn't making money back then. So the lockdown actually helped social media in being what it is today. Reels came in, everything came in, and we got to a place where this could actually be a viable job. So after all these working, like being a manager, being in jobs, failing, struggling, quitting jobs, taking up new jobs, living in different countries, different cities, it took, my first trip was 2007 to 2020. It took 13 years of time for me to understand that this is a viable industry where I can work. And now, touch wood, Instagram stays, I hope. And it's been 5 years that I have done this full time, from being Hyderabad's first influencer to now being one of the biggest here. It's been an amazing journey. And like I was telling somebody just now, it looks easy from outside. It's not. But when you are an engineer, everything is easy. So go chase those dreams. Keep taking U-turns and you'll reach somewhere for sure. Thank you so much.